it's another side that like wants to take more, and wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Good day and welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm Ryan, your co-host with my other two lovely co-hosts, Kyle and Katie. Loveliest first, Kyle, how you doing?
I'm shocked. I'm not ready to answer that. I was expecting Katie was going to answer right away. I'm doing just fine, sir. Can't be better.
Good. And Katie, how are you feeling today?
Doing well.
Okay, you hanging in there?
Mm-hmm.
We want everyone to be happy and quality for all. Okay.
I did book a trip because I'm like, I need a break. But
Where are you
not
going?
until April. Costa Rica.
Nice. Good for you. Yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, let me know the date. Let me know if it affects, if I need to find a third co-host. Okay. For that date. But yeah, good stuff. Awesome. Costa Rica, never been. Where is that exactly? Like
Central America.
Central. Okay. All right. I've been to Central America, but not Costa Rica. Cool. Hey, we want to welcome those who are watching us live. Louise is here. It's good to see a friendly face. We don't have any emails. So I don't know what it is. I have to make that call again. It's time for me to guilt trip again. Another 2 weeks of no emails. But we are getting people who are regularly commenting on our YouTube, which we appreciate and love as well. But yeah, a couple of our regulars aren't emailing us. We miss you guys, but I know you're listening, so I'm not going to guilt you too hard because they keep saying they're listening, but they don't have the energy to email.
Ryan, you're going to have to get passive aggressive. You'll be like, I guess it shows that you don't really appreciate all the hard backbreaking work and all the money I spend to do this, but that's okay. I'll just keep doing that. I'll just keep suffering. You just go on today. I know it's so hard to send an email.
Yeah, according to Kyle, it's very hard. So that's true. It's very hard. I think they believed you. Told you, don't tell. People were like, you know what? I was going to send an email, but Kyle brings up a good point. It's actually very hard to send emails. Okay, well, what else was I going to say? I feel like there was like Sly news, but I can't remember now. Katie, are you tracking any Sly news?
No, but I don't know when we want to. I wrote down a reminder.
Yeah, I know. I love it. No, okay. It's funny. Me reminding you helped me to remember. So that's That's the old saying, tell a friend, right? We say in the military all the time when there's like a tasking or a timing that you need to make. Don't keep it to yourself. Tell a friend. So if everybody tells somebody, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's just tell the story now. Look, Kyle, is there a story you'd like to share that happened at work?
Yes. Thank you for asking. I don't know how you need to ask that, but I did. I'd like to share my experience spreading the good word of the Rocky gospel to the world. So my wife is not a Rocky fan. It's not her thing. We're very different people. I love her in spite of that. She did watch a bit of the first film, and one of the only things she likes in the first film is an aspect of the Rocky-Adrian love story, where Rocky describes it as each of them have flaws or gaps. He says, I got gaps, she got gaps. Together we fill gaps. And she feels like that's like that with us because we're very different people. We have like different strengths and weaknesses. So she'll be talking to people and will tell them about this. And so she was talking to some friends of hers or a colleague of hers at this doctor's office, a doctor there, and she was talking about our relationship and saying how she likes to use this phrase, I got gaps, she got gaps, together we fill gaps. And this person is only, I think, it's like a brand new doctor, like mid-20s, didn't know that phrase. They'd never seen Rocky before. And so that inspired her and her husband, who's also a doctor, to watch the first Rocky film. And they didn't stop there. They actually, over a course of, I don't know how long of a time, but they actually watched the entire Rocky series and really liked it.
Of course they did.
We have a convert to the cause. 2 converts, actually.
Yeah, we just got to get your wife on board, and then you'll have.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. She's what she said her mind to something.
I was going to say, it's like a mixed faith marriage in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what happened was we were dating at the time, and we were sharing. It was like we call it University Reading Week. It's like you basically have a week off in February, and we were hanging out and we were sharing our favorite movies with each other. And I was sharing Rocky, of course, and she was so critical of it that I believe we had to stop watching it. Like, I don't think we actually got through the whole thing because I just it was bothering me too much. We've never gone back since.
So she didn't even like the first one, huh?
No, she didn't like the Rocky character at all.
Okay. So. Interesting.
That's fair. Yeah, you don't want to. Why are you pushing me away? That's right.
Yeah. Different tastes for different people, right?
Yeah.
Of course. I'm a big believer in subjectivity. I think few things are objectively good or bad. Like, it really depends on your point of view. So I'm okay with her not being a Rocky fan. I can live with that.
Oh yeah. You don't.
That's one of her gaps, though. I would do want to say.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I was going to say, Kyle, have you told him to listen to the podcast? That's what I was going to ask you.
No, because I've never actually spoken to these people, right? So it was just my wife sharing the story with me. I think I saw these people briefly at the Christmas party, but that's not where the conversation happened. So this is all just secondhand information.
You know what? It just occurred to me. They may have watched the films. They may indeed have watched the films, but I think they're trying to swing. I think that's their way to connect. That's their way to connect with you.
I saw some swingers in the wild the other day.
The wild.
Outside in the parking lot at the gym I go to, I saw a car and there was a sticker in the back window of an upside down pineapple.
That's the official sign. You're supposed to put it on your porch.
Upside down pineapple. That means we're into swinging. That's the signal they give to other people and other swingers. I guess me, who doesn't actually swing, recognize that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I have got a couple people to look into the podcast though who are not Rocky people.
You've done a good job. You are a talented evangelizer.
Yeah. The key is to play it cool. I bring it up nonchalantly. What'd you do this weekend? Things like that. And people are very interested that I do a podcast. It surprises them. I don't seem like the podcasting type, I guess.
Yeah, I don't bring it up because people think I talk too much as it is. Okay, Paul just came in from our Instagram chat. He's saying hi from Bulgaria.
He's doing some traveling. I like it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, he's the English guy that travels everywhere, right? This guy?
I think so. Paulie, yeah. Louise has a question for us. Why doesn't Rocky have some sort of trauma when it comes to training Tommy after he held the towel while Apollo was beaten to death?
I have a potential answer to that.
Sure, please.
Louise, I think Rocky does what all good men do, and they take that emotion, push it down, and try not to think about it. Doesn't think about those things. So that's my only explanation for that.
But he does. I think he does. He's hesitant at first. It takes him, not a lot, but a little convincing.
But it seems like his hesitations were of just Tommy fumbling his career versus getting killed. Maybe he sees Tommy as just so young and stuff like that it's what happened to Apollo as a result of him being an old man, being 42 or however old he was, where then less about just boxing in general. Maybe Drago was this super freak, Apollo was old, so that's what made that happen. So maybe in his mind, the idea of Tommy just fighting at the lower level pros or even higher level isn't as dangerous. I don't know. But he should have trauma though. He should I think that is a potential hole in the film.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, great question, Louise. And we want to say we're answering Louise's questions in real time. If you want to be part of that real time discussion, you can watch us on Instagram and on our StreamYard feed, which I plug in our Facebook group, and even on YouTube. Rocco from the Rocky Trivia Book, he's here saying hello too, by the way, guys. He said hello. I will attempt to answer this question first. I think I've got an answer. It goes, how does Rocky use Mick's gym if it's in his son's name, and why doesn't Robert bring that up? So I think simply because he's a minor, and I don't know how real estate law works. This is the Rocky universe to begin with, but I would suspect it's probably just because he is a minor. You could say it's in Robert's name, but the handling would go to the adults anyways. And so sure, Rocky's, hey son, I'm going to handle things for you, but when you're ready for it and or whenever you want it, just come and grab it from me. But until then, I'll take care of it with you or for you. And he says, why doesn't Robert ever bring that up? This is a good question. That would have been a nice little nod at some point, not even in part 5, but even in part 6, if they'd made some sort of acknowledgement that Robert then gifted the gym to Rocky or to the people that owned it further in Creed and stuff. We never get that storyline hit on again. It would have been a nice little canon nod that it was once in Robert's name, but he sold it. You could argue to help pay for his schooling or something.
Maybe Robert doesn't know. Maybe nobody told him.
That's true too.
I think it was just like one of those script devices
Sure.
that to begin with, as to they lose everything but somehow still have the gym.
Yeah.
And so they just they didn't think it was important enough to. Little things like that are important, but I feel like they were like, oh, let's just write something quick about how they still have the gym. But
yeah, it would have been nice. I think this franchise, of course, we're looking through the Monday, what do they call it? The Monday quarterback after the Sunday Night Football, the Monday quarterback. I would have done that play. I would have done this play. In the moment, we're not on the field. We weren't there when the film was made. So it's easy for us to kick back and have years to dissect it. But it would be fun if you could wave a sort of magical wand and fix some of these little plot holes, dialogue tweaks, devices, and what this franchise really could have been. Like to some degree, it could just elevate it more. Not even changing like the direction it went in. I would just like to have seen more like stuff carrying over just a little bit more per movie, the way we do with episodic TV. I'm watching Dexter right now with my wife, getting ready for the reboot or I guess it's a reboot. I don't want to spoil anything, but something happened at the end of one of the seasons where it's called Dexter Resurrection for a reason. But anyways, the point is we're getting ready for it. Every episode is an overlonging arc storyline for that season. And I wish the franchise was like that. You almost have to watch the whole franchise, but you don't at the same time. There's enough there where you don't necessarily, but at the same time, anyone could watch any of the Rocky films at any point in any order, never seen another one, and still understand the film, which I guess is a plus and a minus, but it would, for the nerd in me wants, you can't really start mid-season. You have to start at the beginning, but anyways.
I like it. And I think that's, for those of us that are major Rocky nerds, I think that's partially why we loved Creed and Creed 2 so much.
Yes. Yeah, because they really was like Rocky 4 Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought in a lot. It was like, oh, they went back to that.
Which is, I think we mentioned it in the podcast. We actually called the Creed films Rocky. What do we call it? I think we called it Rocky The Force Awakens, meaning when Star Wars, I know, Kate, you don't watch Star Wars, but when Star Wars did Star Wars The Force Awakens, it was just a rehashing of the old days. It was with the new lens and new characters, yes, but that was the idea, was to bring back the old magic and the old storylines, which is both its criticism and why people loved it at the same time. And that's what Creed was. People criticized it for, this is just the same thing, but it's done really well. I don't know if I should be complaining or liking it. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Great stuff.
Another question. He says, how does the gym properly operate if the owner spends all of his time on one boxer? He'd need a lot of staff to help him with who's running it if Adrian is working at the pet shop.
We could speculate that it could have. We mentioned Paulie is selling merch there, but maybe he's not just doing that. He's the door guy. He directed Tommy where to go get changed. Maybe Paulie knows about that kind of stuff. Again, that would have been a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Had they made Paulie kind of operator. I know about these things, Rocco. I can help you. I can help you run things in the gym. I can handle the payments. I can take my stuff from the docks and make sure that the fighter's paid. That would have been, again, that takes 30 seconds of dialogue. And then Adrian, instead of her working at the pet shop, Louise is saying, that would have been cool. I could make it a family business. Yeah, there you go. That would have been more a family story. Now the family's running it. It's in Robert's name, but the family runs the gym now. Oh, that would have been sweet.
I could see Paulie running it. But yeah. And then what's weird is Paulie eventually goes back to the meatpacking plant after all that time later.
That's the Force Awakens analogy in the sense of we have to put Paulie back there because he was there for the first 2 films. Let's make it a pathetic again. It's the arc of Paulie is really weird. If you actually were to graph, that should have been something you did, Kyle's graph his job timeline, like when and where he was, that we understand where he was in the films. It's because 5 is the most ambiguous. Where is he?
He took a few sabbaticals from the meat packing plant, some extended leaves of absence, but he still kept his job, maybe.
Because I think when we get to part 6, I think he mentions it's insinuated or mentioned that he's been there the whole time. I've been here for
insane.
40 years or 30. Like, I think he says something about time or something.
You know, when you're in a place long enough, you become that place.
But I swear he
This
says
is all I
something more
got.
about
when he retired, he actually got let go.
Yeah.
But there's a statement about
like how
he got
long
like a
was
side
that?
of beef or something.
After so many years, though. I swear there's a years comment or some sort of timeline comment. Like, I think if you were to leave that theater, you say, yeah, he's been there the whole time. But then when you go back and psychoanalyze these films, you're like, where is he in part 5 and part 4 and part? We don't really know where he is working at this time.
Well,
especially,
it's just the quantum theory of Rocky. I think is the only way to explain this. It exists and doesn't exist simultaneously at some point.
This is what I mean. There's so much great tweaking you could have done to this series where it would put us out of a job at the end of the day, I think.
We talked about a Mickey prequel, like the TV show of Paulie, because Paulie is the sidekick. Like, he works with Rocky when Rocky's into boxing, and he doesn't when Rocky's not into boxing.
I see a joke.
Okay, I have an idea. I want to pitch my idea. We have a sitcom called The Paninos. It is Paulie's family. And his mom and his dad. It'll be a little bit like All in the Family, a little bit like, I don't know, any other family sitcom you could name. But it just has Paulie's parents, whoever they are, and little Paulie and little Adrian, and goes through their life growing up and all the shenanigans that happen. That would be, and then you didn't have to say it's part of the Rocky universe. Only the Rocky people would know.
What's funny that you bring that up, Kyle? We all see an AI video. I saw one that came on my feed that was just like you're saying. It was Star Wars as a sitcom. So it was the Star Wars characters. So it had Chewie was the dog in the backyard, and it was funny. I don't know what the commands are they put in the algorithm, but R2-D2 was the washer and dryer or whatever. But it was sort of like Luke Skywalker was the angst teen, and Leia was like the bad girl teen, and Darth Vader was the angry father, but he was wearing the Darth Vader suit. It was still AI-ish, but boy, it's getting stronger every time. And it's so crazy how it had a theme song and it had the beginning of the episode and their dialogue with each other. So I'm saying this because 5 years max, maybe they're going to start. Kyle just say, hey, wouldn't that be funny if there's a Panino and you could literally, whatever that program is, they're going to sell one. They're going to make money off this AI video maker. Pininos, the Rocky family, make me a sitcom, and you're going to sit back and you're going to watch your very own. We're going to be able to fan fiction this stuff very soon, guys.
You're absolutely right. You can already, like, one of these guys that I've podcasted with several times for my Retromade show, they do blog posts and articles and stuff, and they had an episode about AI in podcasting, and they literally told it here, like, they fed it the blog. And it was about, like, the blog was about pet peeves and like podcasting pet peeves, like bad audio or various things. That was the blog article. And it created a podcast with 2 hosts, with banter, everything. Like, I listened to a 20-minute.
It's probably better than our show. It's probably getting more views than our show and better.
That's where I was going, is like, we are going to be put out of a job. Like, if you didn't know that it was AI, I really would have thought it was just 2 people, because it was a guy and a girl. They had banter. But the thing about that is it had to have content from something, but it pulled from the article.
All right. I won't say where I got this information. I'll tell you guys offline, and the listeners get to hear the information. I'll have to tell you guys offline how I got it, but just trust me. Have I ever lied to you guys about my sources?
No.
Okay. I just got information from a very reliable source that they heard our conversation regarding the Mickey prequel, and FYI, Ryan, the prequel is happening. And I'll tell you later who said that.
Now,
like a movie,
they didn't get the idea
series?
from us, though.
No, the speculation has been out there for years from fans and from the creators. But that's all I'll say. I'll tell you after who it was. You'll know who it is. People who are in the know with the channel probably are guessing. Oh, the Rocky, not the Mickey. They just corrected me. So the Rocky prequel is happening. Oh, wow.
Oh, I don't like that as much. I like the Mickey prequel because...
Well, here's the thing. I hear you. I think Mickey would be more interesting. So that was what we were saying. So my apologies to the person who's telling me this right now. But what the Rocky, it's funny. We're talking about Dexter, and they have the Dexter prequel series right now that's getting very good reviews. I haven't seen it yet because I'm going to watch it later. But it's all the younger versions of the characters, and apparently they're nailing it. You think, how would they make it fun or interesting? So if you get that kind of smart writing team if it's good writing and good storytelling, it's good writing, good storytelling. Like you'll be surprised what talented. Yeah, you'll be surprised what good talented people can do. That's all I'm saying. So don't.
You're right. Yeah. We all feel a very specific. I love Dexter too, but we haven't been in love with it for 50 years. Like Rocky, like these characters.
True,
so
but
like
the fan base is still very strong. They're still very passionate. It might not be length of time, but their passion runs deep, and they really like the prequel. Like it's getting great reviews, and fans love it. So.
It's possible. It's possible, but it's just one wrong casting can really make.
Go. And the mystery person just asked me, guess who's writing it? Let me guess. Who do you think would write the Rocky prequel? Huh? Who? Wrong answers only. Yeah. Let us know in the comments below. There you go. That's a fun game. Tell us in the comments and/or email who you think is
Erwin Winkler.
There we go. Erwin Winkler, says Alistair. There you go. The blood-sucking vampire going back to the well. Oh, you never know. Okay. All right. This is great stuff. I love these real-time discussions. Boy, this is what makes the live fun, is because I was a little bit worried. I don't have a lot of footage today. I didn't get the behind-the-scenes stuff ready that I hoped, so I don't have a lot of film footage to cover. So this banter is really good. Donald said Mike Kunda is writing the prequel.
Michael B. I could see. Yeah.
Oh, I love these wrong answers. So far, we have Erwin Winkler writing, Mike Kunda. You know what's funny? Mike Kuda would try to get like reverse imaging AI so he could play Rocky, and then we have
who you have to have him write it. We
want wrong answers only. This is no fun to say the real name. Alistair,
I didn't say it.
Okay. So let's get to the YouTube comments and we'll move into the film.
We have one from the Misfit 74. I'm glad Mike Tyson was mentioned because I was going to bring up his first 19 fights. 15 of them were in his first year as a pro against tomato cans, and they were all knockouts. Then in the following year, he had 4 more straight knockouts before his first win by decision. Tommy Gunn was in that early tomato can part of his career with Rocky, fighting often and ending them early.
There you go, Kyle. Thanks to Kyle for doing that. We got to admit, Kyle is our boxing. He's what makes the show legit, or it's just me. Kyle, thank you so much for your intelligence. Every time I think we've exhausted, speaking of the well, going back to the well with Erwin Winkler, every time I think we've gone to the well with the boxing stuff or insights, Kyle will bring something up. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I didn't. Yeah, so thank you, Kyle, for that.
Mm-hmm. You got to contribute somehow.
You do. Don't be silly. Other than being a contrarian to everything I bring up, you do contribute very well. I appreciate it. Next comment.
Eccentric Views says, I have a theory as to why Sly said he only did 1-arm push-ups in Rocky 1. Maybe it's because he tore his right pec after the first Rocky and he wasn't able to do them anymore. If you notice, in all the scenes of him doing them after Rocky 1, he only uses his left arm. So he was only able to do them with each arm in the first movie.
Yeah, so Gino, our favorite Italian Australian, I'll say this. I don't disagree with that he might have changed arms, but that's not what he said. He said he never did 1-arm. He could have said I didn't do it with that arm, but that Sly, I love Sly, but boy, sometimes his history, I don't know if he knows his own history sometimes. The fact he says I never did a 1-arm push-up again, when he does it again in part 2 and 5, that's the point, is he did it again in 2 other films. But maybe he switched arms. Is that
I think in the first one, I think what Gino is saying is he went like this and then this, and in subsequent films it was he didn't switch arms.
Oh, my Paul. Okay, that's the middle ground.
I think that's what he's saying.
So Sly's saying I didn't alternate arm to arm back and forth again, because you know what? Okay. Because he didn't do that again. You're right. He only did the 1-arm push-up on one side. He didn't flip back and forth. Okay. I just wish he worded it that way. It wasn't worded that way. He should have said I didn't alternate anymore. I stuck to one side because of the tear. But yeah, that's actually a great catch, Gino. That's a really good catch. Yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed that he didn't alternate. Yeah.
Gino, for an Italian, you got pretty good insights.
Ooh.
And a nice butt.
For an Italian kid.
Yeah.
Actually, no, yeah, I shouldn't say that. He already sent me the eggplant emoji. I don't know, man. Maybe
Yeah.
I painted myself in a corner here.
Got a
Not
little
that there's
bromance.
anything wrong with it. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I don't think I swing that way. I
won't know until you try, Ryan.
Okay.
Alistair says Sly has a selective memory, in his opinion.
We all do. In fact, memory. Yeah,
good point. That's a good point.
We all do. We've proven it on this show with us as co-hosts. So we have proven ourselves wrong with our own memory when we bring up the tape. And but memory is a horrible. That's why it's a bad. Piece of evidence in court, even with eyewitness testimony, because 5 people will see the same accident or crime. They have 5 different stories. It's weird. It's weird how bad our recall. It's even a better term, recall. It's amazing how bad our recall is. It's a really tricky thing.
We have one more comment from Andy Grew. In every other movie, Adrian is the audience surrogate. We see him through her eyes. I think Sly has said this, he says in parentheses. This is even more evident in Rocky IV, especially in the director's cut. In Rocky V, she's an obstacle. Her role and Robert's should have been reversed. Rocky and Adrian drifting apart. Now you've got something. Thank you for the comment, Andy, but I wholeheartedly disagree.
Why?
Firstly, they did drift apart a little bit already in Rocky IV. So we've already covered that to some degree. And she just couldn't stay away. And 2, or B, I think audiences would turn on it if there was, like, we love the Rocky and Adrian love. And if they were just like normal people,
right?
I don't know if we would like that as much. And then so Adrian has to always stand by her man. Like the thing about Rocky throughout the whole thing is it's always been you and me. That's what she says. It's always been them. And problems come, problems go. And then it just makes sense that Rocky's paying attention to another surrogate child, so to speak, and ignoring his. I think the way the storyline is the right way. But
yeah, same. It'd be weird. I like the idea that basically Rocky's the father figure to Tommy instead of his own son. And it's like Tommy replacing Adrian is just weird because it's a different dynamic. Like both Tommy and Rocky and what the hell's his son's name? I don't know why I'm Robert. Thank you. Both have this father-son dynamic, so it's obviously they compete in that way. So I don't know. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't agree, but that's okay. That's okay. Just keep making the comments. You don't have to agree.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah. I don't disagree with he's right. It would be dramatic and it would be crazy. So I don't disagree with any of that. So the idea that would this be a story? Yes, but I don't think it's the story the fans want to deal with. It's just, there's already enough, him losing everything that he lost already, like his riches and that was already enough for fans to deal with. The fact that he's off this, like he loses everything. He starts from the beginning. Imagine starting at the beginning with his marriage. It's too much for one movie.
But I do agree that Adrian is the audience surrogate.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just, let's just refer to Robert as a kid. I agree. All right.
But, yeah.
And Donald also brings up a good point regarding fans and movies. And this happens like with any kind of franchise that fans always know the story better than the actors. And that's true. In fact, again, speaking of Mark Hamill, I listened to him on a podcast where he's only seen his Star Wars, the film, twice in his life. So he'll have fans come up to him, oh, you met that part when you were on such planet. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, because they play a part and move on. It's just like anything. It's just a job to them. So they didn't write the story. They didn't direct the story. They didn't edit the story.
But in this case, Rocky did, or Sly did.
You beat me. No, that's fine. This is the one not criticism. This is the one where we take Sly a little bit to task because it is his creation and he stars in this is his voice all the way through. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for comments. Thank you so much for the great comment. These are really great comments live and on our YouTube. Send us an email if you so desire.
Defense of Sly, which is something I don't often do. I'm usually pretty hard on him. I think, though, creative types are not usually detail-orientated people. And I would say Sly fits more in the creative type. Like, I can't see him as like an accountant or something like that. So I feel like the way he's wired just doesn't care about those details. Like, we focus on these details, but then at the same time, it's okay, you could do that, but they try and create something new that's actually good. and that's its own skill. So it's I think it's hard to expect someone to be both a creative type and super detail oriented. So
fair point. I feel like there should be other people involved in the movie's making that should, like, their role should be those details.
you should have it's true. You should have a consultant. I want my dream job is to be what I call a perv consultant. So basically I review marketing material and stuff like that for sexual innuendo. Because sometimes people come out with things like that. You run it by me, I'll find anything perverted in it and then make sure you don't embarrass yourself. You know what I mean?
My job will be to make it pervy. That's what she said, jokes and all that good stuff. All right.
You guys would have a field day at my company. Marketing materials that I work on.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Hey, if you ever want to run something by us.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the film. Remember where we last left off? Robert and Jewel were running with the jacket in hand to go back and tell Daddy that they got the jacket back. We'll see some of the original cut. And like I said, there is a workers' print version of this that we'll watch right after. It's a little bit different. I don't think by much. When I pieced this video together, it's been a few weeks, so I don't even remember what I'm going to show you. Yeah, so I guess we'll just watch it together for the first time here.
Knock his bum out. Oh, there he is. Oh.
All right, that's right. So we're seeing some extended, like, just Rocky Tommy training, which is great. This is not in the original cut. So simultaneously, we can assume because Robert and Jewel are running to the gym right now, this is what Rocky's doing at work right now with Tommy. Do some training. It's just cool to see Rocky with a punching, what do you call those, punching gloves? Pads? Hand pads, thank you.
Slip the jab. I tell you, slip the jab. Back and forth, side to side. Here you are. Lay it on. Good. That's it. One more time. Yeah. Look, hey, Tommy. You're doing great, the combination, but you got to learn to move side to side like a windshield wiper, so you ain't getting hit in the face with these jabs. Back and forth.
You gotta move side to side so you don't get punched in the face all the time. Again, I guess Rocky's just speaking from his own experience as somebody who.
I wish I would have done punches. That.
Yeah. That actually, you know what? Like, I wish he would have said something like that. It's like, I wish I would have moved side to side more, then I wouldn't have eaten so many jabs. You know, don't be like me. You want to do this. I'm gonna say this side to side thing though. That's a big Mike Tyson thing at this time. Mike Tyson was for a heavyweight relatively small. Most of his opponents were a lot bigger than him. Mike Tyson is about 5'11" and like 220 pounds, something like that. Like he wasn't that big. Like you'd have guys who are like 6'3", 6'4" with these really long jabs, right? And so someone super powerful like Tyson, the conventional wisdom is you want to keep him away from you with the jab. And so Tyson's way to get in is he was always moving side to side like this and staying low. And these guys would try and jab him and they couldn't. And he'd get in and then do his damage. I think Sly's, the reason he's doing the side to side is since he's basing Tommy's character on Mike Tyson and his style of fighting. And that's why he's saying that.
No, good catch. Yeah, we know this is the Tyson era. So definitely he's already drawn a lot from the Tyson era in this film. And I just like how we just get to see Tommy, of course, Tommy Morrison, the real person who's a boxer. He just gets to box with Sly. So this is, sure, it's being filmed, but there's no rehearsal here. Like Sly's, hey, let's just do some drills and film it because you're a boxer. And Tommy's in his element right now. There's no acting here. He's just boxing. This is what he does.
I wonder if Tommy informed what kind of drills they do. If I'm Sly, I'd be like, hey, what drills do you want to do? What drills are you comfortable doing? And we'll just do those, and they'll look real good because you're used to doing them.
Good point.
I got my coat back! Look, I got my coat!
Oh, that's great, kid. That's beautiful.
I trashed this guy. Everybody in the school went crazy. Everybody.
Well, that might have been okay. I'm remembering my cut now, so you'll have to excuse me, folks. People are like, "You're an idiot, Ryan," which is true. You don't have to tell me in an email or a comment. I think that side to side was in the original cut. What I've done here, I think, okay. Because now my memory's coming back to why I'm showing this. So yeah, that side to side was in the original cut, but we're showing the workers print because Robert coming in to show the jacket, there's just an extended portion of the brush off that the workers print shows. That's why. So I figure there's no point in showing both. It's pretty much equal parts, except for there's a great thumbnail here. Yeah, good catch, Alistair. I'm going to catch that right now. That's a great picture. All right, thank you. Got it. It's done. Okay. Anyways, I say all of that because people are like, Ryan, what are you talking about? That's in the film. Okay, you're right. In the original film. So there's just an extended part at the end.
That's good.
Hey, Rock, man, I'm cooling down over here.
Oh, hey, listen, I gotta get back with Tommy because we gotta work out. He's cooling down and everything. Listen, go tell your mom. She'd like to hear things like that. That's beautiful. You know. Okay, let's go, Tommy.
Yeah, I do love that little part there. It's in the original cut as well, where he goes, "Tell your mom she likes to hear about that kind of stuff." I don't know if that's true. She's mentioned she doesn't like violence.
She would.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, she'd be happy you have a coat. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe change the way you got the coat. You might want to edit that story.
Yeah, you could just say, yes, I used my intelligence, mother, and talked him down, and I told him the foolishness of his ways, and he handed over the jacket delicately towards me.
Guess what, Mom? I used the Socratic method by asking him a series of questions, and then he imploded under his own lack of logic, and he had to give me the coat back.
Show her the Madame Dupont photo as well, or drawing as well. Go show. She likes to see stuff like that.
No, she doesn't understand French too good, Katie.
That's true. That's true.
You don't want to show. You're going to confuse Adrian with that French. Also, it's interesting there too. And I look again. It's slide to some great little acting in this film that people miss, and I love how he's excited he's legitimately happy for his son. He's not like he's not. He feels happiness. I'm happy for you, son. It's awesome. Tommy, of course, is being a bit of a dick here. This is where we're seeing a little bit of that coming. It's a little bit. He's coming like, hey, come on, I'm cooling down over here. Rocky could have said, dude, if you can't handle 5 seconds of not boxing, then you have bigger issues. Let me talk to my son. Now that's what he should have done. That's what I would have done. I would have been like, if you literally can't handle not boxing for 10 seconds, if you think that's a cool down, how are you going to handle the corner between rounds? So just chill. So that would have been my response.
Or just keep go do something. Punch air.
Battle box a bit.
But that is designed to show you that Tommy's starting to think that's on purpose, though. The reason why the dialogue is there is to show the audience that Tommy's starting to think selfishly because it's coming in his mind now, the championship. He smells blood in the water. He's just, which isn't bad, but he's focused on the championship. Okay. The other thing I like is though Sly does, he does this like little, that's great. You did, he does a couple little moves. It's to show that's great. You did this. And then I just like how Sly does that. Like, yeah, that's cool. You did to show Robert. That's great that you knocked out the kid and we'll talk about it later. But yeah, he should have brushed off Tommy, but he went to Tommy's request.
He makes this gesture at the end. Like he's like, this a very like openly dismissive gesture.
It was in combination with him saying, okay, go little boy, go away now.
Yeah, he goes, go tell your mom. And and then he goes, yeah. And then he goes, dude, that's great. That's what he's like, that's great. I think he's just showing, hey, that's great, but I got to get back to work. I don't think he was meaning to be rude, but of course, a teenage boy's, yeah, Dad, thanks for listening.
Oh, I'd be so pissed off if I was Robert in that situation. I'd be really hurt by that. My dad, yeah. Oof.
Okay, what's the extended time?
Oh, it's coming. So, like I said, it focused on Paulie. I think it's just Paulie. That was the whole cut. I know it's weird, but they should have kept it. But I like Paulie's reaction to that. So Paulie's witnessing the whole exchange. We haven't seen him yet on screen, but he does witness the exchange.
And then we don't see Paulie's thing in the original, right? Because so far everything I've seen has been in the original.
He is in the. If you go back to the original, he's there, and then it cuts off really quick. But they show more of the workers. Yeah.
Come on. That's it. Now one through the. Come on, lay it.
There he is there.
Put my hands on fire. Come on.
That's new there. My hands on flat. Or that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Good. Come on. Lay it on me. Come on.
There you go. Yeah, it's just why they cut that, I don't know. Why? Because you see Paulie totally recognizing. Because remember later in the film, well, we might see it in today's episode. I think we should, where he says, "Your ship is sunk, Rock." This is Paulie gathering that evidence right now. He's seen it right now that Tommy is taking Rocky completely away from not only his family, but you're going to see that the focus of Tommy is just about Tommy. So that's regarding George Washington Duke and the house and the girl. But Paulie's first clue that the ship is sinking is right there in that scene. They take it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It was literally 3 seconds, but it was worth me showing you guys that he does his little hat thing. He looks back at Rocky and Tommy after his kid leaves. Like, Even Paulie recognizes that's a bad sign. If Paulie recognizes dysfunction, you're in a bad place.
Yeah, Paulie's like, hey, I think you're being a little insensitive here.
Paulie has always been that, like, he sees Rocky being taken advantage of or people trying to take advantage of Rocky. He always sees it, even in
the first film. Remember, he says, "Do you like them? They're talking crap about you on the TV." There, like even
That's
he
right.
recognized that. Yeah,
and also in the montage at the beginning of 3, in the audience, he's seeing that these are not great fighters. He's, oh, here we go again. Of course, Rocky knocks this guy out. And they were handpicked.
Here we go. Next scene.
Kane, the new heavyweight champion of the world.
You think I have a chance then?
Absolutely. You could act down. Everybody's got 2 fists, right? And a good heartbeat. You got a chance, right?
That was
What do you
a
think
really
of that
dumb comment.
What do you? Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think of that philosophy?
He's trying to instill hope, like anybody can have a chance. I had a chance, anybody. But that's not what Tommy wants to hear. He wants to hear, I'm not just anybody. He wants to hear, am I talented enough? Do I have the right skills? And Rocky's, anybody could, any schlub.
It's weird to think that Rocky character now, who's training Tommy, is the same incredible trainer who trained Adonis. Because it's a different, now you could argue, yeah, wisdom, years. Okay, that's fine. And I guess you could argue that's maybe good writing, that Rocky's not very, because Rocky is humble. Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's the connection. Because again, Sly wrote this. Why did he write it that way? Because you're right. So much that you remember, sorry, I'm all over the place. Remember, of course, Tony talking to Paul. You're the best. You're the best. Women want you. Men want to be you. That's what you're saying, Katie, is Rocky says, no, yeah, you're the best. You're hungry. You're brutal. You're making a name for yourself. They're afraid to get in the, you're right. You have more than a chance. You are the future champion. That's the Tony talk. Mm-hmm. That's what Tony would be saying to Apollo. Rocky's, I'm a humble guy. I don't know. I'm humble. He looks mad. I don't know. So
he looks mad.
I think Rocky's comment made sense given his perspective. I understand why Tommy might not appreciate. I agree with Katie that Tommy might not like that line of thought. But from Rocky's perspective, I don't think Rocky ever saw himself as anything special. Rocky always counted himself as a ham and egger. Mm-hmm. Basically, that he wins with desire to win. That he isn't really physically superior to anyone or has more boxing skill than anyone. He has heart. And so it's, hey, look, if you have somewhat physical capabilities, you have a chance to win. But I would put, if you have this desire to win, which he doesn't make clear there. But yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Is you're right. He's seeing his career, like he's thinking like a Rocky, not like a trainer.
Good point.
Okay. So now we've got, of course, it's training montage part 2 of Tommy's rise, and we have Union Kane barking into George Washington's ear. What do you think he's saying there ringside about Tommy, or like the way he's talking? He's talking like this. Is he saying to Duke, "No problem, Duke. I got this guy if he comes after me," or I'm going to beat him for the championship belt later in the film? What do you think Union is actually saying?
I guarantee you, he's trash talking Tommy about how much better he is than Tommy and how he could beat this white boy, no problem. Even if he doesn't believe it, I think a lot of fighters are like that, where like they have to have the confidence. They have to have the confidence. Where, like, I'm going to win for sure. That's their mindset. And I think he's telling Duke that. What
do we think of Tommy's flag shorts?
He's already wearing them. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. He's already wearing them. Yeah. Alistair brings up a good point about the music. So the music is muted, of course, for the YouTube and for copyright stuff. But he says it's weird how I still think of the soundtrack as being the new sound or music sound, despite the film being from 35 years ago. I think I'm just getting old. It's true. It is weird. Like we talked about in the last episode, how that styling of hip hop, R&B, rap, listen to 80s metal. There's a certain sound of all genres when they're in that decade. They just sound like that decade, and this is such a soundtrack. Okay. Oh, Kate, are you frozen? Is she gone? Is she?
she actually is.
Yeah. All right, she quit. You heard it here live on the air, folks. Katie has quit the show. We're looking for a new female co-host. Kyle, what are your qualifications?
I don't know. I could be really unreasonable sometimes, and never mind. She's back.
Oh, she's back.
Sorry, guys. I don't know. Everything was spinning. Nothing was. I had to leave and come back. Sorry about that. No,
it's okay. We were already putting out a call for a new female co-host, but you came back. So
I was about to go and drag. That was my plan. But,
boy, I gotta up my game, man.
So what do you think you're doing? Trust me, you're the reason why half our audience is here. I assure you. Okay.
Oh, maybe I'll wear a low-cut shirt next time. It's winter time. I have to be warm.
No one will complain on this panel. I don't think that's the issue. Nobody will complain on the panel. Okay. So now we're doing a little callback to Rocky 3 with the bubble training. How amazing is it that Rocky's doing bubble training?
I forgot all about that.
Is that magazine? That's a montage. The magazine behind him. Yeah, it's a very quick little scene, but it just looks. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a non-derogatory term here of how this looks. It looks very. Come on, help me out, guys. What's
the still like how, the exact Rocky's blowing Tommy.
He is blowing Tommy. That's fantastic. I think I have another screenshot. I don't know which one I'm going to use for the thumbnail for this one.
This is this is pretty good.
That's a good one too. Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, Rocky is blowing Tommy. There's the girls, fans.
Oh my god,
she's got crimped hair. I love that.
I've never liked crimped hair.
No,
I don't. It's a bad look, but I just love that.
Yeah. The nostalgia of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not. It's funny. It looks like if you were to do a Halloween costume.
Yeah, like a caricature
today, like a character. Yeah. That's that. That's how she did her hair in the morning that day. This wasn't meant to be funny.
Yeah,
like that's.
Because there's a woman beside her whose hair also looks dated, but it looks like good.
It's a little bit. You could almost pull it off today. If she walked into a store today with that hair, people wouldn't necessarily give her a second glance, but there people would be like,
"Yeah."
Okay, so Tommy's kissing fans. So now he's got some groupies. That's the word. So he's got groupies meeting him after the fights, and he's getting them kisses on the cheek. Are we allowed to do that today? Are boxers allowed to kiss female fans? Is that more frowned upon today than 1990, maybe? Or do they still do that? I don't even know. I'd be careful.
Let's just say this: Tommy's leg strength has probably gone down.
Well, he's not fooling around in the sense of like that kind of.
I think he's getting some action here.
Oh, you think he's actually bringing them back?
Oh, I'm sure he is. Why wouldn't he?
The gaggle of 1990 hairstyles that you've got it paused on. I don't think girls boxing is different. I could be way wrong, but I have a feeling just the girls I don't think girls would swarm boxers like this.
Are you kidding? Oh no.
Yeah, there's groupies. Pro athletes, like they
definitely athletes. You're right.
Okay,
you're
so
right.
I'm just gonna say this, Ryan, you have to edit this, but pro athletes fuck with impunity, man. It's not even hard for them. Like an addiction.
Wilt Chamberlain or who?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
That's a lot of activity. Like
wouldn't you be tired?
I honestly, I don't know if this is TMI, but I would lose all desire after a few times. It's just like my body would be telling me, okay, you need to take a break.
I'm sure it was exaggerated maybe, but I don't know.
I think it's the old variety is the spice of life. I think that's part of it. You're seeing a different naked. You're seeing somebody different naked all the time. That's part of the spice. Is just that would be part of it. It'd almost be like, I'm not trying to be crass, or I'm just saying, any athlete or any star, superstar who can get multiple people in a day or night or whatever it is. It's like swiping right or left. They're physically in front of you. Like, oh, I'll take her. Oh, I'll take that shape and size. I'll take that. I'll try all the shapes and sizes. If you're able to do that as a human, can you imagine what that must be like? I can't, but that's what it is for these rock stars, especially, of course. They can literally say that one. It's like they're trying all the flavors. That's what it is.
Yeah, and if you took like just theoretically every single man on Earth and gave them that opportunity, or you could basically sleep with whoever you wanted to, whenever you wanted to, a large share of people would take advantage of that if it was like in the consequence-free bubble.
Right. Yeah, we're talking hypothetical theory.
Yeah. I remember, for instance, I heard like some celebrities say too that though it's when you can get something so easily too, it also loses its appeal.
Yeah, of course.
Like, part of the appeal of something is like what you,
taboo.
So I would say if you're doing 3 times a day with 3 different people, that to me, in my unqualified opinion, that would be some sort of like compulsive sexual behavior, like some kind of addiction, or like you have like basically a mental issue at that point. Like that's way beyond what a normal person would do.
Donald brings up a good point or interesting story. He says John Cena told Howard Stern about having a sixsome with 5 women, but he rejected it because he was overwhelmed. He became overwhelmed during the process. I can see that too. It's almost too much. You're like, I don't know what to do. What am I
Dolph
doing?
Lundgren has talked a little bit about his time too when he was with Grace Jones and just the wild nature of he's man there's just too many. I can't like she's too. May I quote the late great Tupac Shakur?
Please.
Ladies, take it easy. Hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that easy.
Very well said. That's actually, and that's what Kyle was saying about if it's too accessible, it loses its luster when it's just it's there. It's fun to woo somebody, to not chase them, but when I say chase somebody, it's to pursue a relationship, to get to know them, and they anticipate. There's something to be said about that. I think even celebrities would, because that's a human experience too. But yeah, there are truly sex addicts in the world, both who are rich and not rich. That's a real thing too, obviously.
And I'm guessing too, if you're in that situation, you might become attracted to, because if you're a pro athlete or something, you do have a gaggle of women who will want to sleep with you at any time, but there will be some women who won't, for whatever reason. Like, you literally can't sleep with everyone you want. There'll be some women who, for whatever reason, they're just like, no, I'm not. It's probably like them you'll want to sleep with. Like, you'll probably be like, oh, I like her. I wish I could sleep with her, because you can't have it.
You want what you can't have.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my whole life. I've wanted every female I've ever come across because I can't have any. That's been my experience all the way from high school onward. I get it. I can relate to that. Sad. Okay, this part always stresses me out. Those backwards sit-ups. We talked about the over the back, bending the back.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
It's impressive though, so I appreciate it in the montage.
Sure,
but I'm not talking about I'm talking about over the hard ledge. Look, when Rocky did in part 4, when he was free in the air with using his legs and stuff, I think that might be okay because you have that hard edge like on your you're bending the spine backwards. Where I think it's safer. I'm not a workout guy, but I think it's safer to hold your body rigid, stiff, but just use your legs and hips and stuff, and keep your torso straight.
I've seen trainers comment on that Rocky doing those sit-ups like that, and they were like, do not do that. I'm not talking about the Rocky 4 thing. I don't know about that. But yeah, on that hard ledge, like got to go on like basically like 90 degrees and then back. That's not good for you.
I've said it before where watching bones break and bend and bodies break and bend on, I can't.
Plus, it's like when you get older, you're more aware of that now. Because I feel like in my 20s, you can get away with doing stuff like that.
Sure.
Because your body's just in such good. Now that I'm in my 40s, I'm like, oh, that seems fucked up. I'm not going to even try that.
Hey, I'm in my 40s too.
We're all in our 40s. Look at us. Not for long. Not for long.
That's the part I left out, Katie. That's the part I left out. But yeah,
I like aging. I think it's awesome. Like, I'm getting a couple gray hairs here. I'm like, all right.
I like some Asians. Oh, aging. Sorry.
I don't like aging. I need to find a magical
hard G. I don't like aging. We'll make that clear. All right. Oh, wait, we got to pause it. Balboa's Bomber. There's another nickname. I forgot about that one. Balboa's Bomber. Watch out, Union King. Here comes Tommy Gunn. Oh, he said his name.
The magazine, I wonder when they did the magazine shoots, because his hair is much better, both in this one and the other one that they showed. His hair's
You're right, short.
Not too bad. Yeah.
They probably photoshopped the mullet out. Like,
maybe.
Now that I'm looking at it, his neck seems weirdly long. It's almost as if the mullet like it changes my perception of his like his body proportion or something like that. It looks unnatural for him not to have a mullet here.
The mullet covers it up.
Yeah.
Watch out, Union Cane. The article said underneath that was the.
All right, so Tommy celebrated another big win. This is being showcased by ESPN, so we're definitely moving up. All right, so now we've had the last time George Washington Duke talked to Tommy was, "This ain't no park bench, boy." That was the last time they spoke to each other. Now he's popped in right.
Good catch, yeah.
Yeah, so now he's popped in right after he celebrates the win. Union King, just like Adrian, he's like magic. He comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. I love Duke though. I love that character.
Oh, I love him.
Like, he's such a scumbag, but he like owns it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He has fun playing the part for sure.
I wish I could have been on the episode of the old show when you interviewed him.
Oh yeah, I gotta find. I'm having a hard time. I remember I talked last time. I'm having a hard time finding those old interviews. I don't know where they are. I gotta have to keep looking. You have the gift of the interview though. You did. I don't think I would be good interviewing people, but I wish I could have just been like an occasional commenter on that. Yeah, it was fantastic. He was so good.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did I say he wasn't too crazy about it? I feel bad, but I had him in the moment. Where I either made him say "only in America." I think I got him to say that.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling actors hate saying they're maybe not.
Yeah. I don't know. You should embrace it.
You're right. Arnold saying "I'll be back." Do people ask him to say that all the time?
Show me your leadership capabilities. Sorry.
Yeah. What Kyle's referring to there was a chat that we had where we talked about Bill Hader. And I went on YouTube right away to watch the clip, and it's very funny.
Yeah.
And his Arnold impersonation is pretty impressive.
Pretty good, so, yeah.
And what makes it funny too is that it's a true story, and that's totally Arnold.
I always say that. I say that to my kids. I get obsessed with things and then do it over, and then I stop doing it. And right now, I'm in this stage where I'll ask my 5-year-old to do something. I'm like, "Get your cup, go take it over there. Show me your leadership capabilities."
Does he look at you funny? What the hell?
He's so used to me doing stupid stuff like that it doesn't even faze him anymore. Like he doesn't even ask questions.
No, it's just dad.
Yeah.
That's my whole.
My kids think that this is what dads are like. Like they haven't gone over to people's houses enough to understand.
Yeah. They'll realize all dads are this way. Absolutely. Yeah. A good dad is
dad weird. Or your dad is weird. Your dad's not saying quotes all the time. Why is your dad so weird? Actually,
my friends' dads don't speak in quotes.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting dialogue that George. This is how he introduces himself to Tommy again. Boy, you got hands of gold. I guess that's a metaphor as well.
Gold gloves type of thing.
No, I think it's a combination of your hands are like everything you touch turns to gold, right? The idea that you can make money.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Boy, you got hands of gold. It goes, now I want to introduce you. So right away, I want to introduce you to somebody.
He knows human beings, man. Hey, this is a young guy. I'm going to get some. I don't want to.
Hands go. Hey, I want to introduce somebody.
There's Karen.
Here's some huge tits you can stare at, and she's actually put some of her own pheromones on her neck that you could probably smell. That's a trend now, by the way. Like, I'm gonna basically like wave this piece of meat in front of you like you're an animal. Like, come here, boy, come here.
You want a treat? You want a treat?
God. Okay, Rocky's just standing there. Imagine if this is the 70s. Rocky is Tommy, and then Mickey's the trainer, and someone like Duke comes up like this after a fight with some girl. Imagine what Mickey would do. Mickey would absolutely lose his shit on this guy. Mm-hmm. Get the hell out of here and take your chicken ass woman with you or whatever. Like,
move your chicken
Mickey
asses.
Would have shut this guy down immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Where Rocky is so non-confrontational that he's just going to stand there and let Duke do whatever the hell he wants.
I think he's also a little bit bewildered by what's actually happening before his eyes. Wait, what?
Yeah, like Mickey would see it right away. Like, oh, this guy is a snake. He's bringing this woman here who's obviously trying to entice this guy. Come on.
What do you think of Karen?
She's hot.
Is she?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Really?
She looks a little dated. Her hair's a bit
hair is dated.
like that,
but are you kidding me? No.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
redhead with big tits like that. Yes, she is.
Yeah, but her actual face. Look at her face, you guys.
No,
she
it's
has a
fine.
I don't know. I find her.
Well, she's got the
pretty,
Birgit Nielsen type jawline and face. She's from Denmark. Her name is Delia Shepard, and she's 67 now or 64 now. Yeah, so she's young here. 35 years ago. Yeah, she's I guess she's 30ish here, 29, 30. Even when I was 15, I saw her on the screen. I was like, yeah, Tommy, I get it, brother.
Yeah, man.
That's interesting. Like, I get the boobs.
You don't get the boobs.
Katie, your problem is you think like a woman. That's a problem. Women are picky over stuff. You guys are picky over little details.
Mm-hmm.
We are not. You really have to lose in this sense a few IQ points. You cannot be in our mindset.
No, I think I understand. I think where I was going with it is any large-chested woman would do. Is it right? Is that what you're like?
Yeah, she doesn't have to be a redhead, but I think a lot of men like redheads, though.
Oh, it's rarer.
Also, redheads are rumored to be like really good in bed. I don't know how true that is. I've never slept with a redhead, but that's the word on the street. Like a fiery redhead.
Both my sisters have red hair. They're known to also be fiery, hard to be with. At any rate,
yeah,
they're rare. I always thought it was weird because she seems too old for him.
Guys love older women, like MILFs. Like,
yeah, you're right. I don't know why I just thought
you can't win. You can't win.
I always just thought, why didn't they have a beautiful 22-year-old woman?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you could have a young hot blonde or something like that, who's like kind of more bubbly and like bimbo-ish.
I just always thought this woman, she looks like she's 40.
Yeah, that's true. There is, I think, also guys being
not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, she is attractive, but I just always thought she looked older than.
Yeah. And I think guys liking MILFs is, I think it's always existed, but it's a bigger thing now than it used to be compared to 1990. So you could say that it's like maybe. I think a young hot blonde would have done just fine here. It would have had the same message that went across. But a lot of men do like an older woman like this too. So, plus, I feel like an older woman is more sly and can manipulate you a bit easier sexually
100%.
than say like a young bimbo.
Yeah,
that's so that choice there.
Good point. And I think she mothers him a little.
Yeah, she's the mommy because he comes from like a broken family.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably has mommy issues. Really, like he does have dad issues, but he could have mommy issues also. I don't know. You know who she reminds me of, actually? Her name's Christina something. She was on Mad Men.
Oh, Christina Hendricks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She reminds me of her, like the voluptuous. Christina Hendricks is more voluptuous than this woman is, but like big boobs, redhead type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, all great points. I'll just cap it off with this. But yeah, I agree with the older. I think the older was intentional. That I agree with all the things. Because you need someone that can work with Duke. Because Duke obviously has hired her, or whatever. Whether she's hired, I wouldn't say like a prostitute, but she's working in the Duke camp. This isn't her first rodeo with a boxer or something like that. So she's being used. She knows her role, but you can't hire a 19-year-old to do this. You have to hire someone who's 30 who gets the program. Like, I know why I'm here.
From her perspective too, this is a pretty sweet gig.
Sure.
Like, she probably is making some good money with Duke. Like, I'm sure Duke pays her well.
Oh, yeah.
She probably supplies her wardrobe and everything like that. And then she gets to get dicked down by some like really muscular fit dudes.
Oh yeah. This kind of stuff happens all the time. This is a real thing. And I'll end it with this regarding boobs and how they work for men. Okay. Just so you understand how they work for men is men always start there. Now, I know there's some sort of, we could do like a graph chart or something. So with somebody like her, they're perfect. We see that. Oh, wow. That's a wonderful size. And then we move up. Now, if we move up and the face is like, ooh, I don't know about that. We then have to start contemplating, okay, the face is a 3, but the boobs are a 10. So now the girl's kind of a 5. And so this is how we do the kind of.
Oh, yeah. You rationalize the face based on the boobs. Basically,
that's right.
Yeah.
Is that true, even if you're not a boob man?
Of course, there's a lot of people like bigger lips, smaller lips, or whatever it is. I'm not getting to the minutia of details of the face, but I'm saying men start at the chest, then they rationalize the face. And if the face isn't that great and the chest isn't that great, that's like a double negative. It's just not great.
Or replace chest with ass if you're an ass fan.
Sure.
I'm not going to talk more about this too much because my mom's watching the show right now. But Ryan has a point. I'm going to say it.
I'm being a little silly. We're visual creatures. But of course, yes, at the end of the day, if the girl is a bore or a bitch, of course, just like anything, it's not going to last. But I'm just talking about the primal, initial.
What Ryan's describing is if you're in the hookup space in your mind, not necessarily like the relationship.
Sure.
That's the
that
personality. That's what I mean. That the personality comes in. We talked about this before. Yeah. That you get to know somebody over time, you will then actually legit become attracted to them beyond their looks. Because you'll see, we've all seen couples like, how did that guy or that girl get that? And you can wonder because they fell in love with their personality, which is totally legit. And that's why they're married. They're not hooked up anymore. They have a long-lasting marriage now because they truly love each other. It's all fun. Human relations are fun, but as a 15-year-old boy, I'm watching this film. Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
True enough.
So already
family photo. Who says that?
Yeah, I never caught that before.
I love how that guy has his arm around Sly.
He does not like it. I got to screen. The boy, there's too many screens.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You have like an innate ability to pause.
Merlin puts his arm around Rocky. Rocky's, don't touch me. So, yeah. So that picture makes the cover of the National magazine. Yeah, Rocky is not impressed having Merlin put his arm around him. He's being roped in. Like he's being roped in. He's being roped into this program.
Like, I'm not part of this.
Look at how timid he is. Like Rocky is like continually like this. He does not stand up for himself.
And there, Polly C and Jimmy is there too.
Yeah, Jimmy doesn't like it either.
Mike?
Yeah.
No, this is Jimmy.
Mike. Oh, yes, that's right.
No, this is Mike was in part 1. Jimmy's in part 5. Yeah. So what's interesting to here, of course, these are Tommy's cornermen, but they're not there part of the celebration. They're literally down there. Yeah. I just want to get this in, Katie, from Paul Lee. He just said he just wanted to let you know that Delia Shepard, who plays Karen in Rocky 5, she's no Katie, that's for sure. So there you go.
Oh. Yeah. I don't have like double D boobs, that's for sure.
I know it's the one flaw. We'll talk about it. We got some finances.
I'm telling you guys, especially as women age, I would say bigger is definitely not better.
You know what? Honestly, God, I'm sorry. Mom, stop listening for just a second here. Okay, I need you to plug your ears or something. There's great things about big boobs and small boobs or medium boobs. Like they all have their own appeal. Like
I can see that.
It's all good. Anyways.
No, and I'll say this too. It's funny. I'm talking to like 15-year-old Ryan when I saw this film, but as I've gotten older, I know it sounds corny, cliche. It truly doesn't it doesn't matter to me the way it used to. It's a teenage thing.
Of course.
It's definitely a male-driven,
like an immature mindset.
Yeah, but it's funny as I've gotten older. I'm like, I don't think like that anymore.
My perceptions of what's attractive as I age is dramatically changed. Yeah, like I'm a lot more open-minded towards what's attractive than I would have been at like 21 or something.
Any comments I make, they're just for entertainment purposes. Yeah.
Ryan does not speak for the One More Round podcast.
Yeah, they're all entertainment purposes. All right. Okay, here we go. Sorry. So yeah, they're not a part of the team. They're not too crazy about that. Tommy's, how many fights has he had now? This is getting. What's the count now? 30?
Oh, I love that uppercut that just like sends that guy into outer space.
They replayed it like 3 times too.
Yeah, that would that's brain damage material right there. Holy shit.
Now, if that really happened, can you imagine like ESPN covering that fight with the replay, like the commentary? Because he sends the guy.
Oh, that happens. Yeah, like
that kind of knockup.
Like that. Especially like the Tyson days. Watch a Mike Tyson knockout montage. It is absolutely brutal. It is way worse than this Tommy stuff they're showing here.
Really?
Mike Tyson was so vicious and so efficient at taking people apart. Like it's like there was one guy who fought Tyson, Polish guy. God, I wish I remembered his name. I'll remember it in like 10 minutes from now. And this is when Tyson was not in his prime. and he was fighting Tyson, and he noped out of the fight. And his corner man was calling him like a coward and stuff like that. Tyson literally cracked his skull. They found out later, like his bone here was.
I think I heard about that. Yeah, I think I've heard about that.
Andrew Galata, that's his name.
Yeah,
his opponent. Like Mike Tyson's power and viciousness is incredible, and he would do knockouts like this guy all the time.
I want to see his power per square inch in the Drago machine.
Yeah, I've looked into that. It's very hard to actually measure someone's punch power. Like, it isn't standardized like that. Like Francis Ngannou, who is an MMA guy, they did some punching power analysis for him, and it was like Dana White was talking when it's, this would be like getting hit by a car going like 100 miles an hour. But people were criticizing that, saying, this is not really how it works. And so it's like that. And then you have those punching things at the bar, right? That where people, it looks like a speed bag and stuff. That kind of measures it, but it's actually pretty tough to measure how hard someone punches.
I would never do one of those because it would just reveal that I cannot.
Also, people do these ridiculous punches. They don't do a proper punch. Like they will almost run across the room and put their body weight into it. Like they just do the most like stupid things just to really up the power, you know? Yeah, I wouldn't even try.
I'd be too embarrassed to see the score.
Oh, I hate that we missed this sound here.
Yeah,
Duke making this primal, like animalistic sound from the cry. He's like,
it is weird. You're right. Yeah, for our audio listeners, that's when Duke does that. Yeah, it is a weird post edit to put it.
I was always like creeped out by that watching it growing up.
It's another golden screenshot, right?
I know, too many. You got Robert here with the first.
It runs in the family.
With duck lips, yeah.
Yeah, let me get that one too. I might just have to do like on today's episode. We just got some great thumbnails, and just leave it at that.
Everybody is disappointed.
Yeah. So now they're running down Italian or Italy alley.
He has women chasing him here.
I know, he's literally getting hugged, and as he's running, and now he's fighting a Wild Dell somebody. This is just the marquees are ramping up. This is Fight 30, all within a 3-month period before Christmas.
At the Spectrum.
Spectrum. Well, right. This is the big.
Is that the autism spectrum, or what spectrum is that?
And there's Gloria behind Adrian, and Adrian is wearing. She's wearing the old lady glasses.
I love those cat eye glasses so much.
But she's 44. She's 44 years old.
You know what? It could be readers. When people get old, they need glasses to see things close up, right?
No, it's not. I'm talking about the fact that she's wearing glasses. Just the styling that she has. She looks like the Carol Burnett show where they had that actress who played the older grandmother.
It's Mama's Family.
Yeah, and I forget the actress's name and the character she plays. She's only 34 or whatever, playing the old woman.
Vicki Lawrence.
This is what Vicki Lawrence. Thank you. And this is what it reminds me of. It reminds me of this is like Vicki, like Talia Shire is only 44, but she looks like she's 60 or 55. They ramp up this old lady. If you were to screenshot that right now and send it to someone who's never seen these films before, say, age that woman. What's her age?
Yeah, I think it was all the leaded gasoline back in the day. That's my theory.
I think this is Adrian's natural. She is more of a dowdy. Even in the first one, she's 29 and she dressed like that and wore those glasses.
Yeah, but where's the Adrian from part 3, man?
Well, she got money. And so then she had a stylist. And
okay, Ryan, so what this reminds me of is not that I've seen these, but I've heard that sometimes in adult films, you'll have a woman who will look super. They really go to their way to make her look nerdy like that, and then there's the switch. The glasses come off, the hair comes down. Is
that what your friends tell you? Tell you?
Tell me. I've never seen this before. Never seen this before.
The librarian look.
Hot, but you didn't know that at the beginning. Yeah, like the librarian who she seems reserved and quiet, but she's actually has a bunch of pent up sexual energy. That's basically Adrian, I think, right now.
And she's going to use the paper as, of course, litter box.
Yeah, I like that, actually. I like whoever started doing that.
Like a hot toy. You take a mom like you know an android.
I have another problem with this too, actually.
It just
that?
showed his 16th, takes his 16th. The paper
Yeah.
had a number.
That's
So
wrong.
16
The number's
fights in
way
less than 3 months.
But it's way more that we saw more fighters, but I wasn't keeping track of the trunks. Maybe they were showing a few fights twice. Who knows? But
He's fighting way too many white guys in pro heavyweight boxing, man. I think he's fought like 2 or 3 black guys, but it keeps showing him beating up. That's why he's doing so well, is he's fighting other whites.
yeah.
Good point.
Now Tommy is now not happy that he's been called Rocky's puppet or whatever, robot puppet. I think he's going to throw the paper now at his own trophies or at Rocky's trophies.
I feel like the media is like too unreasonable in this movie.
So that's pretty disrespectful. He threw the paper at Rocky's belt.
Yeah, I honestly don't think like magazines would be that vicious, where they'd be like Rocky's robot and all this kind of stuff. Like they seem obsessed with that. And I know they're just trying to make a point in the movie. And I know they have to make Tommy upset and build, because otherwise why would he resent?
Yeah, that's the storyline.
You're going to be the bad guy if you're using these scare tactics, the Italian chicken.
Whatever it takes to get Tommy in the ring. Alistair does want to ask you, Kyle, all those films, are they any good? Asking for a friend. Yeah. All right. I think you might just, I could be wrong, Alistair. I think you could probably just Google, maybe just try some keywords there. I don't know. I'm not sure what those keywords are, but just the internet is your pearl. Go out there and grab it. Okay.
I think they should just rename like the incognito tab to porn tab. Like just call it what it is.
There they go. The big beat up there was a black boxer there, Kyle. You happy? You happy?
Yes. Dude, yeah, now Duke's like, yeah, he actually is good.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure
now we
before,
know. But this is a great headline. I like this one. Rocky's gun aims at Kane. That's a great use of the words there. It's actually a great title.
See,
I like that.
That would be a job I'd love to do. Is Kyle, I need you to come up with some magazine titles and covers and design them, and I need you to come up with some clever titles and stuff like that. That'd be such a cool job. I love the American flag too in the background.
Yeah, it's weird. There's the American flag just in the background. Tommy Gunn versus Jeff Langston. We're gonna just kind of power through the end here. We're almost done. Where he says your ship is sunk.
There's your boat, Rock.
There's your boat, Rock. And then Rocky goes, "What boat?
What boat? The one that's sinking.
And that's because Tommy. Now, see, remember it was Jimmy and Paulie still standing on the floor when that family photo was taken. Now Rocky's there with them, and Paulie's, you're not even up there with them.
Yeah, good catch. What they should have done is Rocky is in charge of training only. Paulie is in charge of the business aspect. Because Paulie is crass. He doesn't care about ruffling feathers. He could go tell Duke to piss off. He can go grab Tommy and say, hey, what are you doing? I think at this point, Paulie feels like it's not his role or whatever. But if you actually made Paulie in charge of that, be like, hey, Paulie, I want you to look out for Tommy's business interests. I want you to do that kind of back end management. I'll work on the training. There's a chance Duke wouldn't get his hooks into him. But with Rocky managing him, forget about it.
And here's the title. I think this is the last title, is when will he get a title shot? Tommy
He's
Gunn.
been boxing for 3 whole months. Why doesn't he have a title shot?
The last paper had a question about it too. The papers are serving as Tommy's thoughts.
It's a great montage. It's a great message to the audience of what's going on here with Tommy's mind. But again, you're right. So we have to say this is really everyone in 3 months, maybe 4, is saying that's the dialogue after a 3-month run.
I guess if he is like a Tyson-esque person.
Tyson took about 2 years, I think, to get us. Like he got the title in 86. I think he started pro in 85.
So now George Washington Duke is showing him his new pad, his new sex pad for him and Karen. It says Tommy Gunn at the top.
Gunn at the top. You come with the Duke, you can get the kind of payday fights Balboa could only dream about. To the victor goes spoil.
I love how he says to the victor goes the spoils, and the edit shows Karen.
Yeah, she's property, basically.
Yeah. But I've always
comes
caught
with
that.
the deal.
I've always caught that, though. That was intentional. To the victor goes the spoils, and then it shows Karen.
In her fur coat.
It's fake fur, don't worry. So Tommy the Machine Gun versus Tim Sims. This is Caesar's Palace. Oh, there you go, Kyle. So it's funny. The last two legit fighters have been black.
Now he's getting up high, so he's starting to fight black dudes.
That's right.
The real fighters, yeah.
He fights like Mike Tyson. Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, right. You did it, man. You did it. You did it. Hey, man, now am I going to get shot?
I like the robes that they have. There's a machine gun between Tommy and
Oh, yeah. It's great robes. The robes have been amped up. So I wonder who's financing that wardrobe. Is that Duke? Is he still is he helping the team with money and wardrobe money and stuff?
I think they're starting to get some money though. He's not getting the multi-million-dollar payday fights. Okay. But as he's getting higher, he could be getting like $100,000 or $200,000 for a fight, which is to him a lot of money.
That's not Duke's money. That's just money that they're legit making from the fights.
I think so. I think Rocky's making some money. I bet you Rocky's making an okay living being Tommy's manager. Not like you're in a palatial mansion living, but like you can pay your mortgage and pay your bills and stuff. And
so I like the idea that Rocky's team, like Rocky and Paulie, hey, we got to amp up the robes and get machine guns on there. That was their discussion. I like those little things like that. Again, in 3 months' time, they got that all put together. Good stuff. Yeah, this is a fun discussion. The train montage is over. The media is a buzz. Tommy wants his fight. And the next scene is a great scene because it's the Christmas family drama that comes up. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun discussion. I got to piece together the workers' print because I haven't watched it yet, but I guarantee you there's probably some deleted scene from that family drama night with the Santa and everything. All right. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, he's great.
With that, this episode is over.